What is going on, my fellow zombie slayers? It is Nelly B here, and welcome back to the channel. I just want to start out by saying that World War II Zombies overall is a great experience. From the new perk styles to the new special zombies, we've seen some amazing things come from just the first map alone. But with the undead hordes at an all-time high, most weapons are competing for the top spot. Some weapons deal immense damage, others hand out decent damage at a very high rate, and others, well, just blow everything up. But we're not talking about the big shots like the MG42 or the iconic Mustang and... What? Oh, they changed the name? Sorry. The iconic bacon and eggs? Wait, is that really the name? That's hilarious. No. In today's video, I want to discuss some of the more average weapons, more specifically the SMGs. Now, in the past, SMGs have only gotten more powerful with their high fire rate, carrying them through the ranks. Now, there are only 6 SMGs in zombies so far, so the one I will be leaving out is the WWII. This gun is a really good points weapon, but outside of that, it really has no use. Now, all of these weapons can have their damage multiplied by 6-fold, but I will only be basing this list on the base weapons with double tap and their pack punch variants. So without further ado, let's just get into this. So coming in at my number 5 spot, I have the Type 100. Now this weapon and the WWII could be switched on the list, but simply due to the fact that this weapon puts out just a little bit more damage, put it at my number 5 spot, just making it good enough for this list. Now there really isn't much to say about this weapon. It's really good in multiplayer, and in the earlier rounds is more of a point weapon, but once you reach around 15 to 20, you're going to want to get rid of it, and that goes for most of the weapons on this list, with a few exceptions. Upgraded, this weapon becomes the Flakjack, and might I just add that some of the upgraded weapon names in World War II Zombies, they're just so unique and cool, and props to Sledgehammer, okay? Let's just give him a round of applause real quick. But anyways, this weapon upgraded becomes the Flakjack with an increase of ammo of 50 in the mag and 350 in reserves. And now this weapon, above all else, proceeds to be a point whoring weapon even after pack punching. Why? Because the damage is still on the lower side compared to most. Now the only redeeming quality of this weapon is the fact that it's very mobile, meaning you're going to be able to maneuver and run your way out of most situations, and that's why this weapon takes my number 5 spot. And in the number 4 spot, I have the Thompson. Now, this is a weapon from the beta I absolutely loved. High damage, decent fire rate, as well as a decent recoil. So naturally, my first thought when loading up the game was to permanently unlock it. But much to my dismay, it was nerfed along with every other SMG. But that's multiplayer. How does it fare in zombies? Quite well, actually. The damage is more around the mid-range for its weapon category, making it not completely useless, and the fire rate stays consistent with most other SMGs. When pack punched, this weapon becomes the Chicago Typewriter, another great name, which is actually fitting, seeing as when you think of a Tommy gun or Thompson, you think of those classic mob boss gangsters from Chicago like Al Capone or John Torrio, who are usually depicted with the round drum Tommy gun. When upgraded, the ammo count increases to 50 in the mag and 400 in reserves. Again, this isn't a weapon you want to carry to high rounds, seeing as there are much more powerful weapons, but that doesn't take away from the iconic look that Thompson will always carry. Coming in at my number 3 spot, I have the Grease Gun. Now, I know many people out there will disagree when I say this, but the Grease Gun is a perfect middle ground between damage and fire rate. When I think of the Grease Gun, I think of familiar but also very abstract. It's not a weapon you think will fare against a few or even a horde of zombies, but when put to the test can actually be very surprising. I love the unique aesthetic it carries, like it's a weapon that is recognized for how it looks and not in its name, which I can come to respect. Now, this is a weapon that will carry its own into rounds 20 to 25, but again, after that, it isn't the best idea to keep it around. When upgraded, the weapon becomes the Greaser. I get the reference, but I'm not sure many of you do, so leave a like if you get this reference. Anyways, the Greaser comes with an increased ammo count to 60 in the mag and 360 in reserves. Again, this weapon deals a good amount of damage, just not at the rate it needs to be higher on this list. Now, this may come as a surprise for most Call of Duty zombie fanatics, but in my number 2 spot, I have the PPSH. Yes, that's right, the good old classic zombies marking weapon. Now, I wouldn't say it's become completely useless in World War II zombies, but it has taken a backseat as far as outstanding weapons go. It still keeps that classic feel of the original, but with a slight downgrade. The fire rate isn't as good as it used to be, meaning it shoots just a little bit slower, and the damage is reduced, but man, in the early rounds, this weapon is amazing. It is my preferred weapon of taking out special zombies if you don't have something like the 1911 upgraded. More specifically, the exploding zombies as well as the club zombies. The flamethrower zombies, you might as well just bring an actual nuke to your game because you're never taking those things out. Upgraded, this weapon becomes the, now I'm hoping I'm saying this right, Dedushka, which is odd seeing as Dedushka translated from Russian is grandfather. Dedushka. It's just a fun word to say. But the Dedushka gets an ammo increase to 71 bullets in the clip and 355 in reserve. The weapon again shouldn't be taken past round 30, especially if you have access to the wonder weapon, but the PPSH takes my number 2 spot. Drum roll, please. Now, coming in at my number 1 spot, the best SMG in Call of Duty World War II Zombies is obviously the MP40. I mean, it's the only other SMG in the game. Now, hear me out. The MP40 has always been a sort of neglected gun in the past zombies games, and rightfully so. It was more of a stepping stone to a better setup, but in World War II, it made its comeback. Now, personally, I've always favored the MP40, an all-around average weapon, but now it stands out as one of the higher damaging weapons in its class. Don't get me wrong, the PPSH is a big contender, but for some reason the MP40 just stands out better for me. I've never been a fan of really high fire rate weapons because high fire rate means high recoil, and high recoil leads to a lot of lost shots. But with the MP40, you're guaranteed to hit every shot. Upgraded, this weapon becomes the hardly working, which if you just add a T in there, it's hardly twerking. Again, way to go, Sledgehammer. And it gets an ammo increase of 64 in the mag and 384 in the reserve. Now, upgraded, this weapon becomes even more powerful, which obviously upgraded because, you know, you're giving it more power. I would recommend taking this weapon no further than round 30 because after that, SMGs basically become point weapons. Again, very underrated weapon, but one of my favorite. And there you go, my top 5 favorite SMGs in Call of Duty World War II Zombies. Do you agree? Disagree? And if so, let me know down in the comments what you would change. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for the video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what the hell are you doing? World War II is hype AF, and I'm excited for all the new content coming to this channel and the game in general. Anyways, guys, have a great day.